That's further out than I would like, but I can cheat. If I shift it in, eventually it'll snap over, and that's not what I want it to do either. Actually, I wonder if I could cheat it this way. What I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get it to go straight out and get me the right distance away that I can put that T-bar in. And then I'm going to break it. I think that'll do, and I think that's square. Okay. I'm going to kill this. If I was building this with Lego, that would be what they would call an illegal build or an illegal move, but whatever. Or a legal technique, I guess. Whatever. Did it work? Sure did. That's all that matters. Okay, so this is going to be starting a little bit lower, so we're going to kill that for a minute. We're going to run a new home run here. I think that looks best, so we're going to use the Auto 2D. Okay. Now that we've done that, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put that other piece back in, which is going to be the pipeline junction. Now, for this part, which is making sure the thing has a pulse, rotate it this way so that we can get at that jack. I'm also going to do something else. It's probably going to be something I would consider to be wonky, but don't care. I don't even think there's enough space there to be able to do it to begin with, but... yeah, there isn't, at least not for that one. So let's take a look at the Mark 1. Will it let me put the Mark 1 on there? Nope. Okay. Well, I'm not going to be able to do it anyway. That's fine. It's going to give it a little bit of a kick to flow it out. And just so it creates that system there. We're going to feed the power there, just to make sure it's forced to go the way I want it to go. Okay, and let's recolor everything. Okay, so that's all good. Oh, that pipe's doing pretty nice. And we're good to go over there. All right, so we'll see if that resolves the situation. if we start getting good flow again. Just gonna make sure that I was messing around with stuff earlier, make sure I didn't accidentally recolor one of these buffers. Okay, we're good. All right, let's see what's going on here. All right, so that one is no longer sitting there just holding on. Not really getting any flow at all, though, so I still got to keep an eye on this. All right, let's take a look at the power profile. You know what? I don't have very much that's creating the heavy oil residue right now, and I do need the fuel going, so... I can't actually force it to do heavy oil residue by itself. It's just a byproduct. So this will create rubber, then it'll give me 20 per minute of heavy oil residue versus the plastic, which only gives me 10 per minute. And I don't need a whole bunch of plastic right now. Now that being said, I don't think I realized, unless I chose something different, I think some of these are making rubber. Resin with no byproduct, polymer resin, plastic, no byproduct, no byproduct, rubber, but no byproduct because it's coming from the polymer resin. Got it. All right then. Well, that doesn't help me. Here's what we're going to do. I don't need a lot of rubber right now. I also don't need a lot of plastic. I'm doing fine on that. So I'm going to do the rubber with the heavy oil residue byproduct. I'm going to need to make sure I've got these set up as smart splitters. So left is going to be rubber. Well, straight's going to be plastic. Left is going to be any undefined. here is going to be straight, it's going to be plastic again. And to the right is going to be any. Now, I had a feeling this was going to happen, that it wasn't going to actually be locked in. So I'm just going to have to just redo the connection belts here, which is fine. But that's now, is this also, that's not a smart splitter. That is a combiner. Yeah, conveyor merger. Oh, get out of there. I have not connected this yet. Knew there was something I didn't connect yet. There we go. Let's follow the yellow brick road. Okay, so we're good to go there. And now I should start getting a pretty heavy dose out of here of my heavy oil residue. But I'm still going to pump it into overdrive. Now this is going to boost energy usage, but I've got a little bit of an overlap, a little bit of an overhead there, so we should be fine. And now it's going to be popping out 50 per minute instead of 20. Let me check my power profile here. We should start to see a little bit of a bump. Not much, though, because the refineries really don't eat up a lot of power. Okay. Now that we've got that going, we're now seeing that these are actually pretty much full on flow. So that's good. Then it drops off here. Need to boost that, and I'm not really getting much out of there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a valve in here. It's going to be a limiter valve. And I'm going to roll this back here. Roll back to 60. Not that it's really going anywhere too much anyway. Just run into these two buildings, which are both fully stocked. It's not a huge deal. All right. Next thing I'm going to need is right there. It's these bins. So that is just a standard splitter. And I'm going to want to combine, start making some turbo fuel. It's going to be in a packager, not an assembler. there. This is interesting. So that is an output. Goes up and kicks right. For, oh, I guess this is the input here that's coming out of this packager. Okay. Or out of this refinery. But still, it's not getting any black powder. So I don't know what the heck it thinks it's doing. Oh, this is a refinery anyway. Still, it's not doing anybody any liquid good. Although it was doing some good. It's got quite a bit of smokeless powder. Where was I getting that from? It's getting the heavy duty residue, but it's not getting charcoal. And I'm wondering if I was manually putting it in, because I'm not even seeing a belt coming for it. All right, well, that's interesting and unfortunate. Kind of taking a look at some options here. I'm just going to leave it. I know it's probably not the most effective way to do it. Hey, Vahudi, how you doing? But I'm just going to leave it that way. And I'm just going to focus on my first goal and not get too distracted. Is just going to be my turbo fuel. We're all configured to go there. I just need to get the turbo fuel over here. I don't even think I have a remote chance at getting this proper. clearance it needs to shortcut it through here, but I can toy around with it, I guess. Yeah, that's not going to work. Unless... I've been Captain Beam Maker here lately. Try to get some of this done right. Now it should start feeding it into, there we go. Feeding it into the flow, into the dimensional depot. All right. So while that's flowing now, that at least gets that going. I don't think there's enough turbo fuel to power this out here, but I'm very curious what turbo fuel would do for me from a power perspective. In order to do it, you need the compacted coal is the big piece. Right? Compacted coal is that big, but I've got heavy oil residue, but and you can also make it with compacted fuel and regular fuel too. You don't get as much, and that eats that up, and I don't want to be robbing away from the rest of the power. I'm very curious what the change would be in turbo fuel in terms of a fuel power plant's production rate. Very curious. I'm also curious what it's going to do for me for my jetpack. Jump in and take a ride on the train. I'll go off a webcam here for just a touch. How you been overall to Vahudi, if you're still out there? Things going well for you? Picked up one of those guys. He's going for a ride with me. That's kind of fun. Never seen that before. Where's your stop, buddy? Where can we take you to? Oh, he made it through the train station unscathed. Oh, that's where he wanted to go off, right there. He's just going on a little bit of vacation. Went south for vacation. Took his talents to South Beach.